into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
All right, so we are still feeling a little...
Look, I'm not getting my hands right.
I'm trying to do it right.
Failed.
We're still feeling an island celebration for, what was it, Kauai Part 2. The Biggest Losers are on the island. We're going to cover 2 episodes today because tonight was also the Makeover episode. Yeah. This is Season 16, Episode 14 and 15. I'm your host, Fallon Mercedes. You guys can catch me online at fitwithfallon.com and at fitwithfallon on Instagram, Twitter. We have a special guest in the studio. She's one of my friends, but she's also a fitness expert. She's a yoga teacher. She works at Quest. She does everything, all fitness. And as you can see, she has arms of steel. We're going to get her workout routine for those arms a little later, but it's my friend Kalina. How are you?
Good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. I'm excited. You also write, you give fitness tips in Muscle and Fitness Her magazines, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I do workouts and fitness and Muscle and Fitness Hers.
Nice.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Another one will be coming out soon.
So. Oh, will it? Okay. Well, we'll have to get a inside scoop today from you. Miss Morgan.
Yes.
You're back.
I'm back.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to everybody. Back from 2015. So excited to hop right into it. And of course, you can check me out on Instagram and Twitter at ms_Morgan Martin.
I find it funny that this show seems to always take a break when it's the holidays. I feel like you guys know that we're going to be stuffing our face and not really working out. So they're like, you know what, we're going to give them a week or 2 off. So it's good to be back. And, you know, we have New Year's resolutions. And we see the Biggest Losers, you know, their resolution is to get off the show winning that $100,000 prize.
Wow.
Or is it more? I think that's the at home. I think it actually is more.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get the numbers right as we get into this episode.
Just know it's a lot.
It's a lot. And a lot of weight they have lost. And we're really seeing it this episode, especially with the makeovers. Yeah. But we're going to start off with Kauai.
Yeah.
You know, we seen the episode open up with, I mean, I wanted to do it, but as you can see, these contestants, you know, they had to face their fears. I thought it was cool that they got to go, you know, rappelling down a waterfall. And you said you've done that in Mexico, right?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun in Mexico. There just wasn't that much water.
Yeah,
so.
That's kind of intended.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think for me, I see it as being really fun, but I guess when you're, you know, heavy, you have to think, can this rope support me?
Yeah. Right, and
you
it's
know?
not just with the rope, it's with the water coming down and everything else going on, and just the height of it, you know, you being that high.
Yeah. So that all kind of plays into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
What did you guys think of Rob's reaction? You know, we seen him get a little feisty throughout the season, but this time, you know, even Dolvett said it, he was kind of unhealthy, you know, an unhealthy reaction to not wanting to go down, you know, the waterfall. But I guess that's what real fear brings out of you.
Yeah, and I think for him, I mean, we've seen him all throughout the season. I mean, when it comes to any type of situation where he is uncomfortable or he feels like he's not in control, he totally freaks out. So I think it's more than just like either a fear of heights or a fear of rappelling. I think it's literally him not knowing what's going to happen because he's not in control of every single thing. When you're on the treadmill, you can press stop. When you're on a bike, you can stop. But with that type of action, I mean, anything could happen. I think that just like freaked him out.
You train clients. Do you ever see clients respond in that manner?
Yeah, absolutely. They break down. Yeah, and it is fear. It's just the fear of not knowing where your body can go, and definitely in that situation, especially with the height and having the weight and everything. As far as his reaction, you know, at least he let it out.
he really let it out because it's kind of good to experience that, and then so you don't go back to that hopefully, and it's on television for him to see again. So I don't think it was unhealthy. No. I think I mean it was he showed his vulnerability, which is which is hard to do.
I think it was awesome though. He did go through with it, and you know, after he made it down, he was like, "Yeah, turn up." He was excited. And I'm like, "Okay, Rob, I see you." It's nice. He gets very excited and like after he accomplishes his different tasks, each episode, they push him to the limit. So it's nice to see his response, even though sometimes he does go off the edge one way.
And sometimes, and I even wonder, like, of course, it obviously edited for television.
Be a Gemini.
But that's possible.
He's in touch with his feelings.
Yeah, he's just, he has his emotional side. But I think what's always interesting to me is, of course, we don't see everything because it's edited for television. I really wonder how long it took between that, like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
And he was going off, like, I'm tired of these challenges. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of it. Which I feel them. They go through a lot. So I want to know a little more of, like, what some of that behind the
we want to see behind the scenes. We want to see like him like telling them to shut the cameras off. I ain't doing this. Where's my lawyer? I'm out of here. But we also seen a couple other contestants have to face their fears. We seen Lori. She had to let go of her fear and kind of like it was a swing. I don't even know what we first thought it was the zip line, and then it just turned out to be a big swing. But it did look a little intimidating.
It looked fun. Yeah. And all I kept thinking, I had such a Disney moment because all I kept hearing in my head was like, "Let It Go" from Frozen.
Oh gosh.
Maybe I'm the only person. I'm sorry. I'm gonna let it go in 2015, but that song just played in my head.
Who else did we see? We seen Toma. What did he do? I'm trying to look at my notes. What? Oh no, that wasn't Scott and
Jordan. The pole climb.
Yeah, where they kind of like walked the plank on the log, and then they had to like trust in each other and let go and jump. And it was so funny the jump that they did. It was so not sexy. It was so not jumping into the new year and a new you. It was like, I don't know if this is gonna hold me. Just go. And they like just drop slowly. But I guess in real life that's how it is. I feel like when you're really afraid of something, sometimes it's not as like
very
beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't this leap of
it was kind of like
it was a very dainty leap.
Very,
we'll say.
He did it with grace though.
There you go.
He did. There was some grace to it. Who else did we see? I'm trying to think of all the fears that they face.
Those were the biggest ones that they really talked about or showed.
Yeah. Next we seen them, you do a challenge. It was kind of like a lacrosse. You have to throw the coconuts. I like how they use the island in many different ways. They're like, you know what, we're just gonna have you throw some coconuts, and of course Lori, she was an Olympic softball player. So
3-time gold medalist.
She had it. I already knew she was gonna win. Toma, he had a little trouble. A couple other people had trouble, but Lori, she had it. She nailed it.
And she's just a competitor because, it wasn't like an obstacle where you had to kill it and be super fast or super athletic. You just had to be disciplined and focused enough to just be able to stick with it. And that's Lori's strong point.
Yeah, that's her personality.
Yeah.
She experienced a lot of pain on this episode. And like we were talking earlier, it wasn't physical pain, but it was a lot of emotional pain. I think being away from her husband and her children and kind of like facing her fears and letting go and, realizing she's not who she was, but she's becoming someone better. So I think now she's really stepping up her game when it comes to these challenges because she's like, you know what? I'm going to let it go. I know who I am. She even speaks about her confidence with Sonia. They were on the beach, and it was so cute to see them in their little one pieces. They got in their one pieces, and they're sitting on the beach, and they're talking about how much, their confidence has boosted from the first week all the way to the 14th week. And, they really strip you. They strip you of the security of your food, the security of your family, the security of your friends. And, you have all these TV cameras in your face. So, everything is going to be on TV. So I definitely see them growing into new personalities, and I think it's awesome that the following episode was the makeover episode to kind of complete the deal. But what did you guys think about both of them being on the beach and talking about like their confidence? And Sonia was saying she never was told before that she was beautiful.
She said Dolvett was the first person that ever told her that. And I think it was Sonia. She made a comment. She said, "I didn't know that changing so much about myself physically would change so much about myself on the inside." So it was more, and we see that it's more than just a physical, and you can drop a whole bunch of pounds, but if the inside isn't transforming and changing too, then it means absolutely nothing. And we are really, especially with Sonia, these past couple weeks, you really, really see that.
Have you ever experienced like a drastic weight change?
Me, myself? Well, I've been pregnant twice, so that was drastic for me. I've gained 40 pounds.
40, okay.
Yeah, so that my doctor actually at one point said, all right, while I was pregnant, you need to stop gaining the weight.
Really?
Yeah. Like, you've gained way too much weight, because I was having fun gaining weight.
You enjoyed it? Yeah. Just like eating, whatever. And nobody can say anything to you. Like, you're like, I'm pregnant.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, get down and tie my shoe, because I can't get there. I got this big belly in front of me.
That's awesome.
So it was fun. It was fun. But just to add to it all starts with the mind and the inside. So you change your mind and you eventually transform your body. So I love the confidence that they both had on the beach and that bonding too. And I kind of mentioned, does anyone fight on this show? They're just like so supportive of each other.
Yeah, they really are.
Team players.
Yeah. It's, as watching the show, you want to see more drama, but it's nice to like see people being real, like sometimes it's contrived. It's not real. So at least they're being really them and being supportive. But it will be interesting to see when it comes to like the nitty gritty. 2 episodes left, 1 episode left. Let's see how nice they really are.
I mean, and they're athletes. So, I mean, you hear the behind the scenes. And I mean, when they're out on the gridiron and they're playing football, like, it's nice for a while. But when fourth quarter comes and there's 20 seconds left on the clock, like, they're not talking about that anymore. So it's gonna change very soon, I predict.
Back on Comeback Canyon, we saw a little of that. It was Scott and who was it? Scott and
Woody.
Woody had gotten sent home this episode, and Scott and Woody, I mean, they're both very competitive. They both played football professionally, and I think the producers kind of egged on the fight, but they kind of took it to a whole nother level. I think it got real personal after that. So it was nice to see a little bit of, arguing.
A little testosterone.
Yes, exactly. So we seen Comeback Canyon come to an end. Yeah. But in the new episode, which was the makeover episode, we do not get to see those dang producers. We do not get to see who actually won. Yeah. We see Woody's weigh-in, but we do not see Scott's weigh-in. And I believe they put Woody first because I think he lost.
Yeah, he lost 6 pounds. So,
but I think he lost it. I think he's not going to be able to go to the ranch.
Well, he put his head down. So that's like physically you're like, I don't know if you did it. You, when you get excited about something, you're usually your head is up,
Yeah, that's true.
So that could be a giveaway.
And I think too, Scott has been such a key player in this, and he looked amazing in the transformation episode. So I feel like that's my kind of outtake on it. I think Scott's gonna win and come back to the canyon too. It'll be nice to see everybody too. They're because when Woody went to the comeback canyon, he had no idea. He was so surprised. He was like, "What? Where? Well, I'm still here.
Where am I?"
And it's crazy because they're on the same canyon. It's not like they're in the same place, just 2 different buildings. So for 14 weeks. They had no idea that every week somebody was not really getting sent home. They're actually still competing.
They're going to be in for a surprise, for sure.
Have you watched Biggest Loser in the past?
I have.
You have?
Yeah, I
have. And what do you enjoy most about Biggest Loser?
I love the makeovers. I think I said that before. Just the makeovers are they always get me excited. And then, of course, just I like the competition. I know last season it got really controversial with the person that lost the weight very quickly.
She lost a lot of weight.
So I don't know. I like television, and I like a little controversial stuff. You know, that brings me back.
Yeah.
So I was looking for a little fighting, a little, you know.
Yeah. What I love about Biggest Loser, and you know, I try not to cry, and I think that's that's every time I go into an episode, I say, okay, you're not gonna cry, because it's known for being, you know, a TV show that produces, you know, emotions. You'll see people tweeting, oh, I'm boo-hooing, oh, this is a great episode.
Yeah.
So I kind of have a competition with myself. How many episodes can I go without crying?
We did good until today.
We did great until today. But when we seen the Makeover episode and the contestants finally get introduced to their family, who they haven't seen for 15 weeks, and their family's responses to the dramatic weight loss that they've gone through. And I think the person who did it most for me was Woody, knowing that he lost his wife. She wasn't going to be able to see him lose all the weight. And to talk about how, you know, especially his daughter saying how, like, we needed him to lose this weight because they already lost one parent. They couldn't afford to lose him due to, you know, obesity, or other things. So it was very touching. And I think, like, although I don't like to cry, I do like seeing that, you know, that they overcome all those obstacles, you know, mentally, physically, and they're reunited with their family.
And
so that's awesome.
It just brings such a human side to it. Because, I mean, of course, you know, we see them, they're competing, they're losing weight so that they stay or for all these different reasons. But when you see and when you hear from the people that love them the most and that care about them, and especially like you said, like his daughter really got to me, because it's one of those things where it's just like you forget that it's not just about them, it's the impact that they have on their entire family, and the weight has a negative impact on their entire family. So you really start to see that it's so much more than just this competition and money. Like, he's coming back a completely different person, even if he were to leave tomorrow.
Exactly. Yeah. It's amazing the changes that we see. All right, so let's talk more about the Makeover episode. We see that they will not only get made over, they will get, you know, a brand new wardrobe, they'll get the hair and the makeup. Let's talk about the hair. What did you guys think about some of the hair transformations that we've seen today?
Okay, I thought Sonia looked absolutely amazing. I thought the color was great. It softened her up.
Yeah, definitely.
She's going to have a tough time with the extra do. You know,
the extra
when you're not,
weave. You know, when you're used to your real hair and you got, you know,
and you
some
got some
weave.
extra. I'll give you some lessons, Sonia. It's all, we'll work it out. But overall,
when she was working out, she looked crazy.
But you gotta just slap a headband on her, make it work. But she looked amazing, and the color, it just brought out her face, it softened her features, and it was really nice to see her. You know, I think she really felt like a beautiful woman, and you saw that.
Yeah, Kalina, who was your favorite transformation?
I think it was Toma, actually.
Yeah.
Definitely.
He said he looked like Steve Carell, right? He does. He does. A little more weight he has to lose, but I think just that beard just took over his face, and like the fact that like all these episodes we didn't see his personality. So when he cleaned up that beard, put on that suit, it's like we finally got to see Toma. It was I think he had to be one of my favorite too. I mean, Woody is a handsome guy, but like there wasn't much of a difference. Like he had like a little mustache and he was cleaned up.
He just cleaned up nicely, but he, you know, that's Woody.
Yeah.
Already.
My favorite, I guess, other than Toma, would be Scott. He looked great.
Did look great.
Scott is a handsome guy. I cannot lie. I'm like, okay, I see you, Scott.
He stood there and he really looked like a quarterback.
Yes.
Like that in that moment, he looked like a star athlete. He looked like, you know, the NFL quarterback that I'm sure he, you know, was always.
Yeah, he definitely did. And then when we seen his wife and his kids see him, and it's just, Yeah, it was beautiful. So not only did they get the transformation, but they also got to pose in US Weekly.
Yeah.
So that was their kind of first debut to the world in print as the new them. So how many weeks does this season go? Do you know? Maybe 20?
Yeah, it must be because there's about how many left? Yeah, it's probably about 20 weeks.
Yeah. So, I mean, if they've lost this much weight in 14 weeks, they can still drop dramatically if they have 5 weeks left. So they are really going to look different at the final weigh-in. Yeah, it's going to be great. But still, I want Damien to come back and win the at-home challenge. Damien was just amazing. It was Scott and Damien neck to neck the whole time, and then he unfortunately didn't make it. But it'll be interesting to see what his transformation looks like. We kind of see his transformation on now. He's on ESPN, but we'll see in a couple more weeks how much he drops. And it's interesting, too, when they go back to the real world. It's not people making you food. It's not you're working out 8 hours a day. So I wonder how the contestants that got sent home, how they'll do and how they'll show up at the final, the finale.
I think that's interesting because I think that's one of the things where while they are there, they are in competitor mode, but I wonder how much they actually teach them to prepare and balance.
We see the little Jenny O commercials, or what is it called? Ad placements.
Although those tacos did look really good. Not gonna lie.
I'm going to make them tomorrow. No, I'm going to make them this weekend.
I know, they did look good with the pineapple in it. I'm like, okay, that sounds good. But and then especially where you are going home to your family who they're not on the same level as you. They're not eating the same. They're probably not working out as hard as you.
Going back to work.
Going back to work, yes. So it will be very interesting to see how they hold up, when they come back to the finale. Kalina, let's talk more about you.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just add one thing because I think Jessie hit it on the nail. Was it Jessie when they were walking on the balancing beam?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think it's balance. You don't when you go back to the real world, it's not so much making this huge change. And when I have clients, it's all about making these baby steps. Because you don't set anyone up for failure that way. So it's all, you incorporate little changes here and there, and you have to have that balance. So maybe it's not this huge thing when they go back to their normal life, but just incorporating a lot of the lessons that they learn, just slowly but surely.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
When I lost 20 pounds over the summertime, people are like, what are you eating? Lettuce? What are you? And I'm like, actually, no. I have a really sweet tooth, a big sweet tooth, and I would still eat chocolate, but it would be like 100-calorie chocolate. It wouldn't be a full king-size Snicker bar. It'd be, one piece of the Almond Joy. So it is about balance. You're able to still incorporate the things you love, but as long as it's in balance.
Yeah, everything in moderation.
Yeah. So let's talk about you.
Okay.
Now, first of all, how long have you been writing for Muscle and Fitness Hers? I think that's so awesome.
Yeah. So I wrote the HIIT workout. That's where I met you. Was at
we've seen some of the Biggest Loser contestants there. We've seen the trainer Jen, she looked amazing in person as she does on TV.
So sweet in person. Yeah, very super sweet. Yeah. And we also saw Arnold. So and that's how we met. So how long have I been working? So I come from the publishing industry.
Oh, you do?
I used to work for Joe Weider, who ran the magazines Shape and Muscle and Fitness Hers, Muscle and Fitness. So I'm back in the old school days. So I knew some of the editors. I actually did some fitness modeling for them back in the days. So the writing is fairly new to me.
Is it?
Yeah. So I had a girlfriend who is an editor at Muscle and Fitness Hers, and her husband works for Oxygen.
Oh,
so
nice.
They moved from New York to California. We got in touch, and they discovered I was a personal trainer, and they said, "Hey, we need someone to write some workouts. Would you do that?" And I remember I stayed up one night. Actually, I didn't go to sleep. So this is a confession because I don't think she knows, but I stayed up all night writing 3 HIIT workouts. and I tested them all on myself. So I was so hyped up from doing the workouts. I didn't sleep at all. I had to go to work the next day and then turned in my piece. And so that was published in the November-December issue of Muscle and Fitness.
And let me tell you, I got that magazine and I tried the workout, and I'll tell you, you are a beast. Like, and especially if you did the workout too, you tried it on yourself.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you are a beast when it comes to riding. How do your clients feel? Do you put them, through that same kind of intense workout?
My clients are different. So my clients are more, they're rehabilitation clients. So I put my friends through the workouts.
Yeah.
And they either love me or hate me.
Yeah.
So, but it's fun. I try to keep it fun. If I see that it's something that they can't do, it's always modification. You can always modify up or down.
Yeah.
So I kind of gauge how my friends are doing or how clients are doing. And you go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what kind of workouts do you incorporate for yourself? I know that you do some jujitsu. That seems like an intense workout.
So I used to compete jujitsu.
Awesome.
And jujitsu, if you don't know, is actually a soft martial art. So it's kind of like dancing. It's it's kind of like Tai Chi. So it's you do fight, like in MMA you'll see a lot of fighters doing the jujitsu, and but it's this give and take. So you have to kind of have that respect for your opponent to be able to give and take. Otherwise, you're stuck like in a position, and it becomes boring. Did you guys watch the last UFC?
No.
Okay. So you'll see fighters and they'll just stay in this one position. And then you'll hear you'll hear the crowd go boo, right?
Yeah.
So it's sort of that, it's this give and take and the respect for each other and your opponent. So I did some fighting. I was a bronze medalist for National Jiu-Jitsu.
Nice.
Yeah. I am a lover and a fighter. I used to have that T-shirt, but I don't do it anymore.
No.
I used to teach little 4-year-olds, and what was amazing with 4-year-olds that practice jujitsu is they look very similar to black belts that were older, and the reason is 4-year-olds are able to play. So they do give and take. It's sort of like this tag, you're it, and then they go back and forth. Yeah. And then, but then when you find, more of the guys that don't want to give or take, more of the newbies, it's that, it's that lock. They're locked. They don't progress because they're not having fun. And then with the black belts, it's sort of like this dance. When you watch them compete, it's this back and forth, and it's very beautiful. It's not beautiful in MMA, but jiu-jitsu itself
is very intense. And sometimes I get stressed out watching MMA on TV.
Right.
I'm like, it seems so, it is real, but it's like, I feel like I'm watching like a real street fight. Like,
right, it's not the WWE.
Exactly.
They're not playing around.
Yeah, they're definitely not. How many calories do you think you burn when you're doing jujitsu?
It depends.
Yeah.
Calorie-wise, you can go really intense, anywhere from, 200 to 1,000 calories.
Oh wow! So it is a good workout.
It is a good workout because it is cardio, and it depends on how you train, because you can do these. What we used to do was this thing called King of the Hill. So you had 3 opponents line up or on the floor, and then you would sort of attack them, and you would go for anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes just rolling is what you call them. And we would wear gis, so the gi is heavy, so you just completely sweat. So your cardio's up, your strength is up. You're not weight training or anything like that. But then again, if it's this give and take, then you're moving, and whenever you're moving, you're burning calories.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So what's your arm workout for your biceps? Because I have my arms covered because I can't even. I'm not on your level yet, but I need to be because it's the new year.
Yeah, we gotta train.
You're gonna have to dish for us and our listeners.
Okay, so arm workout. I've been working on my shoulders a lot lately, but I do lift heavy. I try to lift heavy.
And what's heavy for you?
Let's see. So what did I bench the other day? I think it was like 95 pounds.
Wow. I get so embarrassed. I have to put the little plates, and I'm like, I might as well just have the bar.
Hey, you got to start somewhere.
I can squat a lot for but that's because I think I'm so short. My legs are so big. I don't have as much to go. But when it comes to my arms, I can't.
Women typically don't have the upper body strength as much as we do the lower body strength.
Yeah.
So, and because I knew that, I think I focused on my upper body a lot. But I lift heavy. I try to lift as heavy as I can. Have a workout partner to spot with. Nice. So. I don't know. I don't know how often. I love training upper body than I do lower body.
Really?
I hate doing that.
I love
so
lower
the
body.
opposite. Yeah,
I
me
lose
too.
I don't like the soreness, but I do.
Yeah,
love
I gotta do more lower body. I have that flat Asian butt. You know, when I lose.
I didn't notice. Squats. Squats.
Yeah, there you
Get
go.
some squats in.
Listen.
Yeah. So bicep curls, you know, military presses, triceps, everything. Yeah.
Now, who's your, I guess, fitness inspiration? Is there like a trainer or somebody in the industry that you're like, I look up to them, I admire them?
So I really love Pauline Nordine. She was a trainer on The Biggest Loser.
Pauline Nordine. I wonder what season was that.
She's hardcore. She's like no nonsense. She had the Butt Bible.
Oh,
Wow.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah.
We're like,
Okay.
oh, got it.
Yeah, yeah. So she's awesome only because one, she's hysterical, but
Yeah.
she's like unknowingly hysterical.
Yeah.
And she's just no nonsense. Like she's no BS.
Yeah.
And I like that about her. I like, you know, you don't. I try to be that way with my clients, but it never comes out right. Like I can't be like that. Let's do this, you know.
You know, I have that same issue. Like I try to be tough, but it's like I don't like. I think I'm not a bully, so it's hard to bully my clients. Like Jillian Michaels, she's tough, but even her, I think, you know, she knows when to ease up. You know, like she doesn't make them cry, and she's not hitting them.
Right.
And there's some trainers that are like just ruthless.
But I think too, you get to know your clients, and so it's like when you get to, that's almost like me, like just yelling at my best friend. Like that would just be so difficult to do to a certain point because you understand them, and I think it's finding what pushes their buttons
Exactly.
but not in a way where it's like military drill sergeant.
Right.
You know?
You still have to have that compassion because
Completely.
clients are coming to you for a reason, right? Something significant has happened in their life and they look to you to sort of inspire, motivate them, but also care for them and nurture them. Yeah.
I have one client who, when he gets upset, he yells at me, he swears at me. And then I have another client, when she like gets upset while working out, she'll cry and pray to God. And like, it's funny. You
The opposite.
Yeah, you get to know your clients and you know what works for each one. You know, I'm a little tougher on, you know, the guys than some of the girls. But yeah, you get to know your clients. What do you take for protein? Like, what do you, I know you work at Quest. Do you eat a lot of Quest bars?
I eat probably a bar a day.
A bar a day.
Yeah.
So now that worries me, not worries me, but I always get worried because I know they're protein bars, but in the back of my mind, I feel like I'm eating candy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, should I really be eating this? Is it really okay to have a protein bar a day?
I think so. At least the Quest bars, because the Quest bars are awesome. And I'm not saying that only because I work for them. I actually was consuming the Quest bars and giving them to my clients before I worked for Quest.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
So I love the bars, and I love them because of the macronutrients. What I do for protein is I try to incorporate protein into every meal and incorporate some type of vegetable in every meal. I don't eat a lot of fruit because of the sugar. And the Quest bars, as you know, doesn't have
sugar. I was
right.
telling you earlier, I have a diabetic patient. My dad's diabetic, and I give them the Quest bars, and it's great because they don't have to worry about their sugar levels spiking. So
exactly, and I don't feel that at all, because sugar is so addictive, and even with the bars out there and food out there that have the fake sugar, your mind still, you still crave it. But that doesn't happen. And that's why I stay away from fruit. But with the Quest
I need to
bars,
cut that fruit down then, because I crave the sugar and I will reach for the fruit just to tell myself, okay, it's better than a cookie.
Right, it is.
But it's still sugar.
Right, it is.
That makes sense.
true.
So let's talk about predictions.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
Start with you, Morgan.
I mean, the biggest thing is obviously who's coming back. Is it Woody? Is it Scott? Is it Woody? Is it Scott? Who I would love to come back is Scott. I'm going to throw a curveball out there and actually say that Woody's coming back.
You know what? I don't disagree with you. I know in editing they could have used a different shot of Woody.
Yeah.
And act like that was his reaction shot.
Yeah.
So you may be right.
Yeah.
But I predict Scott is coming back.
I hope Scott comes back.
Will he win it all? I think he's probably going to be second or third if he doesn't win it all. He's going to be the top 3.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
I could see that. If Scott comes back, he's definitely going to be in the top. But I think it's going to be tough because you do have to remember that Scott lost 9 pounds the week before and Woody only lost 1. So he has a little more leeway to lose some extra. So, but I'm pulling for you, Scott. I want Scott to come back.
What do you predict?
So I keep hearing a lot of good feedback about Scott. I think he's a good spokesperson for The Biggest Loser.
He is.
And he has a look.
He does have the look.
And he's very compassionate and has some passion.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say Scott, from what I know and I've seen from this season.
Yeah, makes sense. All right, you guys at home watching, comment, rate, subscribe, and let us know who you guys think is going to return to The Biggest Loser next week. We'll be here next week, same time, same place. You guys can find me online at fitwithfallon.com. Kalina, thank you so much for coming in. It was nice to kind of spice it up and to get your advice, of course. I'm definitely going to try to go heavy this week.
Let's work out.
Well, I'm going to go heavy. All of us. We all should go heavy. You'll spot us doing some arms. Where can they find you online?
So I am on Twitter and Instagram at Kalina. That's Kalina 247.
Yes. And any articles coming up?
Yeah, there will be one. I'm not supposed to announce when it's going to come out, but
we'll keep you posted.
Coming soon.
Yeah.
Yes. Where can they find you, Morgan?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at ms_Morgan Martin. You can also check out my website, www.dancefitwalk.com.
All right, we'll see you guys next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.